Page 12, last paragraph.
Page 12. Last paragraph? Okay, now. Okay, what do you read, brother?
Third, the price and the commodity must be known to the seller and buyer, for hiding any is regarded as fraud, which is prohibited in Islam. Thereupon, it is invalid for the buyer to buy something he does not see or recognize, and for the seller to sell an animal embryo in its mother's womb or milk in others, separate.
Right. Here, look to this point. As we said, that we should specify the price. I mean, we agree on the price of the product. And here, some people, maybe you notice it, and always I have problem and trouble with some workers. For example, I asked someone to come to fix some electrical problems. And they said, how much, ya Sheikh? He said, whatever you give me. Maybe you notice this, huh? Okay? Ya ma fi mushkila ya Sheikh, whatever you give me. Ala kefak ya Sheikh. He assumes that you are good man, good person. So he assumes that he will give you more than what he may ask. Right? It may about 50 riyals, and then he will say, what? So you give him this, I will give him 100. And he is satisfied. This is why if you give him the 50, then he will curtail. He said, well, it's not. He said, from the beginning, he said, whatever I give you, you will accept. Why you change your mind? So this is why I always insist. Whenever I have somebody, or I ride with a taxi, limousine, okay? Well, I said, how much you want? From the beginning. Okay? When I give you the money, I feel comfortable that I gave you what you asked for. Okay? If I can't, then I will not use your service. But to say, it's okay, and then we will fight at the end, that's not right. Okay? So this is the point here. That the price of the service, or the price of the commodity, or anything should be known. Right? The second point here is that, as we just discussed earlier, the commodity, the product, or whatever you are buying. This is why the Sheikh here gave the example of the embryo and the womb of the animal. For example, you come, your friend he has a farm, and you say, MashaAllah, the cow is pregnant, and he said, I will buy whatever in the womb of this cow. This is not right. Why? Because it, no. Maybe it will give birth for 1 or 2. Right? Or maybe it will die after you buy it. Or maybe it will come weak. Right? Except that you buy it with the mother. Okay, as part of the mother. For example, I say this cow is not pregnant. It's worth about 500 riyals, for example. This pregnant, it will get another one. So it's 700 riyals. 5 for the mother and 2 for... It's okay here. Why? Because you are buying the whole sale, everything. But to buy something which is not known, this is not right. This is fraud. Right? Now.
I have one question.
Yes.
What you said now. Sometimes you can rent a taxi when we know the price.
Yes.
For example, from Bala to here, I know I usually give the same price.
Yes.
When I come to the taxi, I don't ask you. When I rent the taxi, when he comes here, for example, I give him 50 difference.
Yes.
We still don't 25.
He said?
25.
Yes.
I am compared to pay 25 or 50.
And this is why we said. Okay. Here it depends, brother. It depends. If it is known, I mean as something standard. Okay? Standard. That this service will be given with this price. This standard. Then there is no problem. But it was not. Or people are different about it. Then it's better to discuss it from the beginning. So it's better always, brothers, when you ride a taxi, when you are getting service from anyone, doing anything, that you have the agreement of the money that you will pay or you get. Now, okay? Now, continue.
Also, the selling system called mulamasa and munabada are prohibited.
طيب, mulamasa from lamisa, that means touch. Munabada from nabada, that means throw. Now, what's the meaning mulamasa? The mulamasa, the buyer, for example, you come to buy product, and he said, the buyer said, whatever thing that you touch, it will be for you 10 riyals. That's not right, because you know what kind, where your hand will touch. So this is why we said, here the product was not identified. Right? Munabada, to throw. For example, you come to the seller and he said, whatever product I throw to you, it will be, the price will be 50 riyals or 100 riyals. Also, this is not right. Right? Why? Because it's not also specified and there's big chance for fraud. That means, cheating or maybe he doesn't mean it, but you don't know what you are going to get. So anything that is not specified is why the Sheikh included under this title. Now, yes. Abu Hurairah?
Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, narrated, the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, forbade selling by munamsa and munabata, related to Al-Bukhari. Selling by hasa, stone, likewise is prohibited.
Now, hasa, al-hasa, this is stone, and he threw the stone. Either you have, for example, mini bike, or different TV, or whatever, okay, or different carpet, and he said, now I throw this stone, right? Whatever carpet, or whatever this stone lands, then I will buy this carpet, and I will sell it for this price. This also is not right. Why? Because you don't know where to land. Right? And the same thing to buy land. Their land, they have big land. You don't want to buy the whole land, part of the land. And he said, I will throw a stone. Right? Wherever the stone drops, then I will get the whole with this price. This is also not valid. Why? Because you don't know what you are buying. Nah.
It is another type of sale which means that when the buyer throws a stone at a certain commodity is paid for sale, he has to buy it at a price decided by the seller.
Nah. Fine. البيوع المحرم. Would you read? This is chapter 2 now.
Chapter 2. Prohibited trade transactions. Allah has made the trade permissible for His servants as long as it does not cause them to miss what is more useful and much important, such as an obligatory act of worship. Trade is also permissible so long as it does not cause any harm to others.
Right. Now we are starting. What kind of transaction is forbidden for other reason than the conditions that we mentioned? Okay? What we talked about before is the conditions of what? Transaction. Now, this kind of sale, it met all the conditions. But there are other reasons made it what? Prohibited. Not by itself, not by the transaction, but because other factors. The first example, the share, for example, is to buy and sell anytime is okay. You can open your shop and you can sell any product. But there are certain time, selling and buying is forbidden. For example, at the time Salatul Jumu'ah, to whom? Is it for everyone? Is it for everyone? No. It is prohibited for the one that it is must on him to pray the Jum'ah. Got it? Is there anybody that it's not must on him? الجمعة؟ ها؟ لا المسافر the traveler. طيب okay the traveler نعم the woman for example it's not must to attend جمعة. if they buy or they sell it's okay. So where is the dalil? And what time is it? Is it from the early morning or from the first adhan or the second adhan or at the time of the iqamah? Huh? Huh? The second adhan. That means the adhan when the imam comes. طيب? This is the second adhan. The dalil يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة إذا نودي نعم نودي نداء. That means the call. طيب was raised then إذا نودي الصلاة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع. فاسعوا proceed go to the صلاة. remember وذروا this is أمر. leave all kind of transaction of selling or buying. ذلكم خير لكم. طيب does this mean I see this and you need to advise some people, especially unfortunately some brothers because they are ignorant around the masjid and the imam is giving khutbah and this man is selling miswak. يا شيخ مسواك هذا السنة جنبيس. طيب أغلب people to do of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay good brother but not at this time. You should drop your stuff and go and listen to the khutbah. طيب is he excused because he doesn't understand the khutbah? I don't know what this man say. طيب even though because it's part of the salah. طيب so this is why as we say by itself the selling miswak is good but at this time it's not right. So the price that he is getting is unlawful and the product that you get is unlawful because the transaction itself is invalid. هذا بيع محرم. نعم. طيب as we say like woman traveler for example you are in the airport طيب to buy it's okay. Why? Because طيب how about the one who is selling this depends on him. If he's resident then he should not sell. But he is the one who committing sin. Now,
it is impermissible for a Muslim upon whom the Jumu'ah Friday prayer is obligatory to buy or sell after its second prayer call. For Allah, exalted be He, says, which translates, O you who have believed, when the adhan is called for the prayer on the day of Jumu'ah, then proceed to the remembrance of Allah and leave praise. That is better for you if you only knew.
Surah Al-Jumu'ah.
Thus Allah, glorified and exalted be He, has prohibited trade when the prayer call for the Jumu'ah prayer is declared, lest Muslims should be too busy with trade to attend the prayer. Allah has mentioned trade in particular as it is one of the most important worldly activities that occupies people's time. As most people earn their living through trade.
Right. This Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned here buying and selling. Right? So the Shaykh, what he said here, he said why Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned this? Because this was the most thing that maybe occupy the time of the people or people are busy with. Which means that anything else that may keep the Muslim busy from going to the khutbah or to the salah when the second call, then is forbidden. Somebody said, well, yes, I'm going to the salah. The call is there, but he said, but I'm expecting breaking news and CNN, so the TV, I'm waiting. He said, this is haram. Watching the news haram? It's not the news, yeah, brother. But now you are, this time you should be where? You should be in the masjid. Right? Fixing something at your home. Okay? Unless it is something which is emergency. Anything that you cannot delay. But for something that can delay, then it should be there. And this is why, brothers, it's very important for the Muslim. Should be in the masjid before the court. The Imam is there. Unfortunately, nowadays, you'll see people, they just come when they hear the khutbah. The Imam starts the khutbah and there's only one line or two few people. And in the middle of the khutbah, mashallah, people are standing by doors. They don't have find place there. This is because of ignorance. The Muslim should be careful. Now,
This divine prohibition implies that trade is prohibited and invalid at such a time.
now,
When the Jumu'ah prayer is used, that Allah glorified and exalted be He says that referring to leaving trade and attending being occupied with trade, if only you knew your own good and interest. Likewise, it is prohibited for a Muslim to be occupied with any worldly activity, not only trade at the due time of Jumu'ah prayer. It is impermissible for Muslims as well to let trade or any other worldly activity divert them from establishing obligatory prayers after hearing the prayer call. Allah exalted He says, we translate, such things are in houses, that is mosques, which Allah has ordered to be raised, and that His name be mentioned therein, exalting Him within them in the morning and the evening, are men whom neither commerce nor sale distracts from the remembrance of Allah and performance of prayers and giving of zakah. They fear a day in which the hearts and eyes will fearfully turn about, that Allah may reward them according to the best of what they did and increase them from His bounty. And Allah gives provision to whom He wills without account.
طيب في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة. Why the Sheikh quotes this ayah here? To tell you that this not only limited to Salat al-Jumu'ah. He said from this ayah, you know that, nothing should drive the Muslim away from Salah, any other activity. This is why in this country, one of the rules, and they were more strict than now. Before, at the time of the Adhan, all shops should be closed. And people, they should go to the masjid. This is applying the rules here. But the Muslims should advise each other. The problem now, many Muslims, they just, they don't care. They think, well, leave it to the mutawwi'. When comes the mutawwi', the hayya, then they will tell him to go to salah. But you pass and you find some of the workers, out of their ignorance, they close the shop and they wait outside. Or close it and get inside. But we should, as helping each other and doing good, that we should advise them that you should go to the masjid. Are you Muslim or not? If you tell somebody that, brother, are you Muslim? Say, oh, astaghfirullah. Wow. What do you think? I'm Jew? Or I am like this, or I'm like that? Subhanallah. Okay, if you are Muslim, where should you be now? Should be in the masjid. So he's angry. He said that you are no Muslim. Why the Muslim should what? Go to the salah. Okay? So this is very important that we advise. In a very nice talk. Very nice word. You are in the company or wherever you are. And it is here more on the authority. For example, if you are manager, director of a company or of factories or an office, you are the head, then you should advise those who are working with you and encourage them to go and do the salah. Use your authority to give them advice. Tell them that it is very important to do the salah on time. Now,
It is also illegal to sell anything which can be used for disobeying Allah and committing a sin. To illustrate, it is illegal to sell certain fruit juices to whoever uses them for making intoxicants, as it would be cooperation in sin. Allah, exalted be He, says, we translate, but do not cooperate in sin and aggression.
ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. As we gave for the example, that to give somebody which is the device by itself is halal. But you know the intention of this person, that he will use it in something which is haram, unlawful. Then you should not sell it to him. As we say, it's okay to sell grape juice, for example, or grapes or whatever, but it's not lawful if you know that this man will use it in a different way. شيخ محمد آسف أنا كان عندك سؤال.
لا كان عندي سؤال.
نعم.
بالنسبة للبيع
نعم.
مرة أنا كنت وصلت في السوق فأشتري ممكن.
نعم.
شفت اللون أبغى 5 متر.
نعم.
ب4.
نعم.
الرجال يقول هذا ما يكفي فيه 3 متر، لكن عندي واحد زيه في المستودع.
نعم.
يعني أبغى يعني أقدر أعطيك 5 متر منه. أنا أظن الصراحة.
نعم.
فقلت له بالأمانة.
نعم.
قلت لي 5 متر.
نعم.
ب5 ب4. قال لي طيب. رحنا تاني ورجعنا قلت له سويتها يعني نفس المكان؟ قال لي كم سوينا؟ قال لي كذا دفعت. جيت البيت فكيت المكيف يعني واحد يوم كل مرة مثلا أشيل المكنسة يشيل الكل لأن هذا قديم في المستوى.
طيب هذا راح يجي إن شاء الله معانا في عندنا درس عن شروط البيع. نتكلم عن هذا إن شاء الله. Brother, he asked question about something that he bought, but this inshallah will be explained when we talk about the conditions in the sale. Okay? We have the conditions of sale. This is what we have, and there will be inshallah the conditions in the sale, not of the sale. Right? This comes. Now, continue.
This kind of sale is considered cooperation in aggression.
Now.
Similarly, it is illegal to sell weapons, armaments, and munitions at the time of dissension among Muslims, lest they might be used for killing Muslims.
No.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, prohibited Muslims to do so. And Allah, exalted be He, says, translate, but do not cooperate in sin and aggression. Surah Al. In this connection, Ibn al-Qayyim said, all legal proofs demonstrate that the legality and permissibility of a sale are also affected by intention and usage. For example, one is prohibited from selling someone a weapon if one knows that he would use it for killing a Muslim, as this is considered.
Is this only a Muslim killing Muslim? Be careful. The Sheikh said here, who knows that he would use it for killing a Muslim. That doesn't mean if it was not Muslim, it's okay to sell for him. Huh? No. Here he gives the example, just a Muslim. But for killing anyone. Anyone. Okay? Now. Now. Because some people may misunderstand this and say, well, he said a Muslim, but I want to kill somebody else. He said, no. Here, we call it, they call it al-ma'soom, ma'soom al-dam. Ma'soom al-dam. What does ma'soom al-dam? That means protected. Protected. This means either Muslim or Zimmi or Mu'ahid. Remember when we talk, the book of Jihad, we talk about there are 3, Mu'ahid and Zimmi. And we say the Zimmi is the non-Muslim living among Muslim, and Mu'ahid is one of the enemy, but he has treaty with the Muslim when he enters the country. So no one can kill him or hurt him. Now,
as it is considered cooperation in sin and aggression.
No.
However, if a Muslim sells a weapon to someone who fights,
will you stop this? Repeat after that.
However, if a Muslim sells a weapon to someone who fights in the cause of Allah, it is considered for the seller a sign of disobedience and devotion to Allah. Sign of obedience and devotion to Allah. On the other hand, it is impermissible to sell weapons to those who fight Muslims or those who use them for highway robbery, as it is regarded as cooperation. Muslims are not permitted as well to cancel the sales of one another.
Now, this is what we call it, as the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعض. What does it mean? This to affect, the selling of your brother. For example, you were looking and somebody is selling his car. And he said, I will sell this car for the buyer. I will sell it for you for 10,000. And you can say, no, don't buy it. I have better car than this one. And I can sell it for you with 8,000. This is not right. This is haram. After they finished and he left and he didn't agree, decide that he didn't want to buy it and he left, then it's okay to present your product or suggestion. But as long as the transaction is in process, then you should not interfere. Okay? The same thing also for buying. Okay? You come with your friend and you want to buy this device, and the seller, he said, this, for example, 1,000. And said, don't buy it. I can get it for you with only 800. So either to cancel or to affect the one who buy or the one who is selling, this is also not right. لا يبيع بعضكم فوق بيع بعض ولا يشتري, also at the same time. And this also apply in other situations that affect the relation between Muslims. Like for example, also khutbah. For example, Shaykh Abdul Majid, he wants to get married. And he hear, MashaAllah, be careful your wife doesn't hear this here. Here is Shaykh Abdul Majid. Shaykh Abdul Majid, for example, he wants to marry. And he came, or he went to one house, one man, good man, he has good, MashaAllah, girl, and he said, I want to marry your daughter. And Ibrahim hears that Shaykh Abdul Majid, he go there, he went to the other, before they decide, and he said, I want also your daughter. This is also forbidden. Okay? But if they take decision, either they said, okay, we can't because you are already married. Okay? And Ibrahim learned that they did not give him any word, then it's okay to go and ask. Okay? To marry him. Is it clear? So the principle is one. Don't do anything which affects the dealing of your brothers, because this will affect the heart and the feeling and the love, the humanity between Muslims. Now.
Question.
Yes.
The buyer.
Yes.
This buyer is a friend of mine.
Yes.
He was going to buy from one shop, right? Actually, I went to meet him the deal. And I know that he's buying something in Salmon, that we can guide him to buy the same product in the cheaper. So, can't I avoid him to buy from there?
I don't understand the question.
Buyer.
Okay.
A friend of mine. He went to one, he's dealing with another person.
Okay.
To about the product. So actually I came there, by coincidence. If I came and I know the dealing is happening there, so I know the dealing is going on a bigger amount, but in value is very high amount than the product.
But he can get it to you with cheaper price.
Yeah, with cheaper. Then I can stop my friend to want to buy from this product, so I can give the better one.
No, as long as it's not in the same setting. Okay. Okay. For example, I know that, MashaAllah, you have this shop. طيب, but I know Su'aib, he can get it from me from Balad cheaper. That's okay. But the point is, at the time of the transaction itself, that you see, now I said, Ya Su'aib, I will sell this for you, okay, with 10 riyals. And you come from here and say, no, don't buy it. I can get it for you with 8 riyals. This is what should come. Now. Yes. Now. Okay, continue. We need to finish this step before we leave. Now.
For example, a Muslim seller may say to a customer who has paid 10 pounds for an item from another seller, I can sell you a similar piece for only 9 pounds. Or I can sell you a better one for the same price. This is prohibited for the Prophet, peace be upon him, said. You must not try to cancel the sales of one another. Related by Al-Bukhari.
Yeah.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, also said, a Muslim must not try to cancel the sales of his Muslim brother. Related by Al-Bukhari. Likewise, it is impermissible for Muslims to cancel the purchases of one another. For instance, a Muslim buyer may say to a seller who has sold another Muslim a commodity for 9 pounds, I can buy it for 10 pounds, or the like.
Don't sell it to him. He paid you 9, I can give you 10. That's the point. I can give you 10. So cancel. Don't give it to him. Somebody said, okay, well, this one man gave me 10. So I'm gaining what? I'm winning 1 pound more. So I can't not sell it. This is what is haram. Now. Continue. Now.
Nowadays, many a prohibited trade transactions like the aforementioned one occur in the markets of Muslims. So, a true Muslim must avoid such violations, forbid them, and show disapproval of those who commit them. Among the prohibited trade transactions is that made by a town dweller on behalf of a desert dweller. The Prophet, peace be upon him, says, a town dweller should not trade on behalf of a desert dweller.
This is what they call it in the fiqh. Maybe you read it in Arabic. بيع الحاضر للباد. الحاضر للبادي. What does it mean? حاضر وبادي. حاضر is the one, the resident of the city. Al-Badi is the Bedouin who live in the desert. And also for a town outside. Right? Like for example, I buy for somebody who is in the desert, or I sell for him. This is not right. Or some people, they do it like this. When these people, they have their crops or agricultural products, right? Before they reach the market, they meet them in the middle of the way. Okay? And they get it with cheap price, and then come to the city and sell it. Why? Because this now, the Bedouin or the farmers who brought it, he doesn't know the actual price in the market. And those people are taking advantage of his ignorance, so they buy it with very cheap price, and then they come in the city and they sell it with higher price. So this is what is forbidden. Now, continue.
Ibn Abbas, commenting on this hadith, said, it means that he, a town dweller, should not act as a desert dweller's broker.
Now,
the Prophet, peace be upon him, also said, leave the people alone. Allah will give them provision from one another.
They work. This man from the farm, he comes, he sells products in the market, he will get good price. The same thing also people in the town, they will get lower price. But when there's somebody in the middle, and this is what's going on right now, like in Halaga, for example, they control the market. They control the market. You know, miskin, the farmer, he wants to sell it, he will sell it very, very cheap price. And then if he himself or somebody else wants to buy, he will get it very high. What is the difference? The one who will benefit from this, those middle ages. Now,
thus, a town dweller is prohibited to sell or buy on behalf of a desert dweller. In fact, what is prohibited is that a town dweller goes to a desert dweller and offers his service to buy or sell something on his behalf. Yes, it becomes permissible only if the desert dweller is the one who comes to the town dweller asking him to buy or sell on his behalf.
if he come to the, like to the halaqa, he brought his product to the halaqa and then he said, Abdul Majid, help me or take care of this. This is different. But not to meet him in the middle of the way or go to his place. Now,
Another type of prohibited trade is that called ina, in which a seller sells a commodity on credit to a buyer and then buys it from him at the same time at a lower price.
Now, this is what some people do it as trick to avoid riba. And in one place or some places, they have shops which is just fiction. It's not right. You come to this shop, they have carpet. This carpet was sold to many people. And it was in the same place, never moved. Never moved. For example, Sheikh Muhammad had this, carpet shop. Ibrahim come to Muhammad, instead of saying, give me 20,000 and then I will return to you after 1 year. 25,000, he said, astaghfirullah, it's riba. It's riba, astaghfirullah. Okay, what to do? He said, okay, you can buy this carpet, for example, or this car with 20,000 riyal. Okay? I will sell this carpet to you with 20,000 riyal and you give it to me after 1 year. Okay? You got the point now? Take picture. Muhammad sold this carpet or this car for 20,000 riyal to Ibrahim, and Ibrahim will return the money to him when? After 1 year. Okay. Now, you receive the carpet, now it's yours. Okay. Now I want to buy it from you. You sell it to me with 15,000 riyal. Now, okay, take, buy 1, 2, 3, and you got 15,000, put it in your pocket, and you left the place. How much you got? 15,000. And how much you have to pay back? You got the point here? Is it trick or not? So this is what they call bayr al-ina, which is haram and forbidden. Now, but if it depends on the intention. But it was not, the intention was this for this purpose. For example, I bought this car, and then after a week or 2 days, I said, why did I buy this car? I'm not in need for it. And I want to sell it, and he buy it from me or somebody else, it's okay. Because it's not hina in this time. Now,
for example, a trader sells a car for 20,000 pounds on credit, then buys it from the same man who has just bought it for 15,000 pounds cash. Thus, the original buyer owes the seller 20,000 pounds to be paid at the due time. This kind of selling is prohibited as it is mere fraud and one of the forms of riba. In this way, the seller sells a sum of money on credit for another one in cash, making the commodity just a means of fraud. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, if you sell to one another with hina, hold the tails of cows that has become occupied with worldly gain, become pleased with agriculture, and give up jihad, fighting in the cause of Allah, Allah will make this grace prevail over you, and you will not withdraw it until you return as well to your religion. He, peace be upon him, also said, there will come a time when people consider riba lawful by means of trade.
this is what we are these days. Right? This very great hadith, I wish that you go back to the internet or to one Muslim Islamic website to see the explanation of this hadith. There's many lessons in this hadith, not related to our subject, but in general. And this is the situation of the Muslim right now. When Muslims, they follow their desire, this loud, this word, and the excitement of this word, and they left and forget about religion, then they are humiliated, they are in the back. طيب, جزاكم الله خير. Inshallah, see you in 2 weeks. Do you have any questions?